Well, hi there and welcome to the ISC FX Options Weekly Outlook for February 21st, 2011. As always, this is Jason Ayers of OptionsSource.net. Just a quick reminder to sign up for your free webinar at www.optionsource.net. Let's take a look at a weekly chart of the U.S. dollar index. This is a great way to gain perspective as to how the U.S. dollar has been trading against a basket of currencies. Well, the dollar index failed to rally beyond the 79 level, closing the week below 78. Without a break above the 79 pivot, the dollar index is likely to retest the 76-77 focal zone. Quick look at the daily chart reflects Friday's break below 78, lending credibility to a retest of 77. Let's take a look at the CDD, the U.S. versus the Canadian dollar. Well, the CDD continued to slip lower last week, coming much closer to the 98 support. Now, we may see a bounce here. However, until we see a break above 99.5, the trend remains sideways to down. A break below 98 lends credibility to an extended move lower. Let's take a look at the YUK, the U.S. versus the Japanese yen. Well, the YUK hit 84 and rejected as expected. The 82.5, 83 focal zone should act as support. Consolidation within this zone lends credibility to a continuation higher. Let's take a look at the U.S. dollar versus the euro as seen here in the ISC FX options pair value, EUI. Well, the EUI closed the week lower, testing 73. With no signs of a reversal, the EUI could slide lower to test 72. Until we see a break back into the 74-75 focal zone, the trend remains down. Let's take a look at the BPX, the U.S. versus the British pound. Well, the BPX reversed at 62.5 as expected and continued lower, testing as low as 61.5. Now, until we see a break back above 62.5 and consolidation within that 62.5, 63 zone, the trend remains to the downside. Let's take a look at the U.S. versus the Australian dollar as seen here in the AUX. Well, the AUX finished the week back down within the 98-99 support zone. Now, until we see a move back up into the 100-101 zone, with that level holding as support, the trend remains sideways to down. Let's take a look at a few of our key points. First of all, the U.S. dollar index broke down this week, failing to follow through to the upside. This breakdown lends credibility to a retest of 77. The CDD continued lower last week, testing 98. This level remains a key support. Until we see a commitment above the 99.5 100 zone, the trend remains sideways to down. The YUK retraced as expected. We could see a continuation deeper into the 82.5 83 zone. Supported 82.5 83 lends credibility to a continuation higher. The EUI traded as high as 74.5 before reversing to close last week back down at 73, while 72 should act as a key support. The trend remains down. The BPX reversed at 62.5 and continued lower. The trend in force remains down. The AUX failed to break higher and reversed back down to test support at 98. We should see a bounce at this level. However, the trend in force remains sideways to down. And this has been your ISE FX Options Weekly Outlook for February 21st, 2011. As always, I'm Jason Ayers of OptionsSource.net. Remember to sign up for your free webinar at www.optionsource.net. Thanks for joining me here this week. We'll see you here next week.